Hey everyone. So it is January 13th, 2022. I'm on break from my coaching and I just feel very drawn and compelled to kind of do a verbal emotional dump rather than writing it all in a journal and then making a bunch of posts about it and trying to reach people. So if you watch this, the universe brought you to watch it for a reason, I guess. And the reason why this is in black and white is because life is not black and white. There is so much color to life, but there are moments where we can just feel gray and lonely. And I've been feeling not gray and lonely. I've been feeling actually very alive and vibrant. But I woke up this morning and I usually check in when I feel pretty bad. I check in and I ask, is this my shit? Or is it someone else's shit? It was all my shit today. And I'm owning it. We really attack ourselves. We really... See how the light just went out when I said attack myself? It won't go back on. There we go. We all have parts to us that protect us so we can survive, right? We have parts at a very young, very, very young, even in utero age, that go, okay, this feels very unsafe. We're going to disassociate. We're going to react this way. We're going to move our body this way. We're going to go put ourselves into a fetal position to not feel seen. Like when you're scared or you think like there's a monster in the house, or let's say you think there's a monster in the house. What do all the kids do? And I did it, and they do it in movies. They run and they go under their bed to hide, or they jump under their blankets. That's a form of disassociating. That's a form of hiding. That's a form of going into a dorsal state, a frozen state. It's part of our sympathetic nervous system. It really knows how to protect us. So when you become aware of all parts of you, parts that have played a protective role, parts that have played a fun, exciting, like get along with people role. You have another part that is like the go-getter, like stern and determined and like very masculine energy. Go, go, go. Like, we got to get this shit done. And then you have those other parts that are like, oh, but if you do too much of that, maybe you'll piss this person off. Maybe it'll make you uncomfortable. You might feel unsafe. So you have this like pull and pull back and forth when you become aware of all of your parts. And I don't think we can ever really learn all of our parts, but we can surely work with them and build a partnership and a relationship with them. And the ones that we are aware of, we can work with them to find the other ones that we're not aware of, that are calling for us to become aware of them. And I've realized that I self-sabotage myself. And it's simply just by watching and binging a show when I know I should be sleeping. Maybe whoever's watching this doesn't think that's a trauma response, doesn't think that that's self-sabotage. But when you wake up and you feel like shit about staying up and like watching a show that took you away from life, took you away from like all the feels from the day, and then brought you into other people's feels, you have to check in with that. Like, why should I feel like shit for like enjoying a show? And I realized I didn't feel like shit for enjoying a show. I felt like shit because I took away from self-care. I took away from sleeping and resting and then waking up and doing what I wanted to do. I went into a state of, if I wake up and I'm more productive and I do things and I reach more people, or I do things for the business, or I allow myself to just really enjoy all of the sunlight of the day before I start my coaching at 2, something feels unsafe about that. Something feels powerful about that. So me staying up late and watching a show until 6 in the morning, yeah, I know, 6 in the morning. That's when people get up for work. I looked outside and it was still dark out. And I was like, oh my God, it's still dark out. And then I started like looking around my room. I realized I had my hands up. I had my hands up against the wall for like 45 minutes and I had no idea. I wasn't even in my physical body. I was so engaged in the show. It was Yellowstone, by the way. That my physical body was just like, I'm just gonna surrender because like she's just watching the show and she's just chilling. And like, so I was enjoying myself. But also my body at midnight was like, time to go to sleep. You haven't eaten all day because you've been busy. Why did you do that to yourself? Like, come on, you gotta eat something. So I went in, I ate some food. I had some soup. Had a few bottles of water, had some tea. And I knew I should have went to bed. And I didn't. So my body finally was just like, we surrender. Like we were trying to talk to you. We just surrender. You're gonna pay for it when you wake up though. And I fucking am. I'm tired. I'm beating myself up. But I realize that I'm not, in a sense, I'm beating myself up, but I'm actually just becoming more aware of things that I'm doing to self-sabotage myself from feeling power. From feeling powerful in my skin, from getting up and, instead of getting up and like working out and stretching and like journaling and filling out my calendar, making appointments, doing all these things that I set as goals, it felt safer for me to disassociate from things that would make me feel powerful. And I put my power into watching a show. And I don't even know anybody in the show. They don't know me. There is nothing about that show that is going to help my well-being. Until you start reflecting and you're like, there's something in that show that relates to me. And you know what it is? Every single character in that show is a part of me. They all have a personality that I can relate to. And it was intriguing. And I was literally, as I was watching it, I was like dissecting, and that's why I was such in a ventral state. Like I was like calm, safe, but dorsal. I was like ventral dorsal, like just taking it all in. Because each character in the show acted certain ways out of emotion, out of their circumstances, out of adverse events, out of external forces. And someone asked the dad, do you even ask your kids, like, how was your day? Do you actually have a conversation to get to know them? Any emotion that's not related to work or to like their mom that died? Like, it's a very toxic show, but yet if you watch the different characters, you can start to see them change. But you can also, I was not conscious that I was consciously aware that I was talking to my own parts as I was watching the show. And like, I don't know. Because as I was just talking, I realized I wasn't really self-sabotaging myself. I only think I was. Because I was actually learning from the behaviors in the show. I just became aware just now of how I was reacting with my body. How I was aware that there was a stink bug, which is one of my spirit animals that comes through when I'm tired. Literally, it just appeared on my ceiling last night or this morning, and I was like, what are you doing? It was letting me know, yo, you didn't listen to us, you should have went to bed, you're going to wake up and be mad at yourself. You're taking away your power. And a lot about Yellowstone is like people's power being taken away, and that's all they crave is to feel power. But that underneath that power is they just desire to be loved and be accepted. And I think that's what we all desire and crave, right? Is to be loved, to be safe, to be accepted. But we have to accept ourselves. And that's like that is the hardest part of this spiritual awakening or this healing journey, is accepting yourself at all points, at every stage, accepting where you're at, accepting each part that's trying to talk to you, accepting that you're giving your power to something, you're disassociating from something, because there's a message behind that disassociation. There's a message behind, why don't I want to get up and like feel good about myself, and why don't I want to get up and like work out and stretch and do my journaling, do my emails, do my things? What is the message behind that? What happened in maybe my childhood, or even in my parents' childhood, or what happened with my friends in my relationship? What adverse event happened that sent an energetic signal to my body to not want to get up and feel empowered in my skin? Who can relate? So when we have these moments of grayness, where we do something and then we beat ourselves up and we shame ourselves, we need to reflect on that, because that is a part that's shaming us. It's like, hey, you've been ignoring me, I'm trying to talk to you, so I'm gonna shame you, and I need you to be aware of that, because like I don't want to feel the shame anymore. And every day excuse my language, I'm learning something new about myself every day. I'm learning something new about everyone in my life every day. I'm learning something new about colors, energy, the power of life, and the power of love, safety, and acceptance versus neglect, dangerous, and shame, fear, criticism, and not constructive criticism. There's all these teeter-tottering emotions in our life, and since we were in utero, we've been feeling them. Our body's been reacting to them. Our body's been protecting us or doing certain things to have us survive in life, right? So I don't know, I guess this is just like a verbal journal that I will reflect on it sometime, but whoever's listening to this was super healing for me. I hope you were able to learn something, because it's okay to like beat yourself up when you become aware that you're beating yourself up. You become aware that, what is this lesson to learn that I'm feeling bad that I didn't want to go to sleep at a reasonable time? I literally was saying to myself, go to sleep, you're going to be pissed at yourself. Go to sleep, you're going to piss yourself. It was like I pushed that energy forward to really be pissed at myself when I woke up. It's like I set that in motion. I manifested that. And I've been working so much on manifesting proper sleep since I don't work overnights anymore. But it's like patterns. I'm still in that, oh, I can still be successful and do shit and not sleep all night. A pattern. Something else I just learned. It's really hard to break patterns. So you just gotta be compassionate and patient with yourself. When a pattern arises, there's something behind that. And I remember real quick, like right before my spiritual awakening, like 2018 going to 2019, I would stay up late when I wasn't working. Even when I was working during the day, I would stay up and only sleep like 2 to 3 hours, watching something that was kind of destructive. It was like the people's lives in the show are more fucked up than mine, so I liked it. Or they were just as fucked up. Or the characters had similar feelings that I did. And that's exactly what the Yellowstone is doing. So I'm repeating some sort of pattern for a reason. And my higher self, when I tapped into it, was like, yeah, power. You are becoming more powerful because you're becoming more aware. And it's scaring the shit out of your nervous system because you have never felt this fucking good. You have never felt so powerful by living your passion and your truth that you're doing things that was part of your old pattern. So now my question to myself is, and is part of my next step, next chapter in my new book of fulfilling my dream and my mission and living my purpose, is how do I break these patterns? What lessons are behind these patterns? How can I work with these patterns to move forward, to feel empowered even more and not be afraid of that power? To not be afraid of having discipline that brings me joy. Not being afraid to get up and be successful. And knowing that I don't have to sabotage sleep anymore. I can be successful and sleep. I can watch a show at a normal hour now. I don't have to watch it in the middle of the night. Yeah. So really check in with your parts when you're feeling emotional. If you're feeling tension or pain in your body, let's say it's your shoulder, check in with your shoulder. What's your shoulder trying to tell you? How old does your shoulder think you are? What's that feeling in your shoulder? Does it feel unsafe, neglected? Where's the joy in your body? Where's your power? Is your power out here? Is your power in here? Where's your power? Maybe you don't even know. And that's how I felt when I woke up. Who did I just give my power to? I gave it to an old pattern. I gave it to an old part of me that I still haven't fully integrated yet. And when you really become aware of all these patterns, the colors in your life become brighter. The energy in your life becomes easier to navigate. And you cannot beat yourself up for so long because you're so aware of everything. Yeah. So I'm going to go for a walk before my break's over because connecting with nature really grounds people, grounds me. Getting that fresh air into your lungs lets your body know that you're aware that it needs some rejuvenation, it needs some oxygen, it needs to feel the flow of life. Mother Nature is our biggest external healer. When we can connect internally with our inner healing intelligence, with Mother Nature's external healing intelligence, fucking powerful. But anyways, I love you. I hope any or some of this resonated with you. Just be patient with yourself every day, every process. Be curious about it. And when you're beating yourself up, why? What is it? What is that part that's beating you up lacking? Is it love, safety, acceptance, power? I love you.